You came to materialize ideas. Your earth was once a swirling mass of vortexual stuff that you couldn't see, and now it's something that scientists see and understand and measure. So much that was once only a thought is a physical reality. That's what this is all about here. This time-space reality where you are the genius creators who now turn more thoughts to more things. So to help you out in this process of turning thoughts to things, we're explaining to you that here are the things that you want, the experiences, the creations that you've put there, bit by bit by bit. So incrementally, by the way, that you often don't even recognize them in their mature state. Here is more in your vortex than you could live in 20 or 30 lifetimes. That's how masterful you are at sifting through contrast and creating this vortex. But now, these thoughts must begin to turn to your things in order for you to have the fulfillment of what you have been intending. So now we're explaining to you that the vibrational frequency of this vortex is very high and very fast and very pure and is being tended by your inner being, by source or whatever you want to call that non-physical aspect of you. And you, if you want to open that passageway, if you want to open that channel, if you want to be the one who receives, if you want to be in the inspired place, if you want your timing to be good, if you want to be tuned in, tapped in, turned on so that you can translate the frequencies, because remember, you can't set your radio dial on 98.7 and hear what's being broadcast on 101. You cannot receive something that is a different vibrational frequency. So you have to understand the frequency of your vortex, and you have to bring yourself to match that frequency. And when you do, thoughts begin to turn to things and you begin to get ideas. You say, oh, I got the best idea. And the reason you did is because you were, it maybe only for a moment, in the frequency of the vortex, and you allowed this to transfer. You allowed through this open valve, you allowed this knowledge to flow to you. That's what's going on right here, right now. Esther's wide open and allowing that which we know to blow through her in a way that you do not often hear the likes of. Streaming consciousness, because she's in vibrational alignment with what's in the vortex, with what's in your vortex, and here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. In the form of thoughts that she's receiving at an unconscious level, and words that she's speaking also at an unconscious level. And the next phase of all of that are thoughts turning to things. In other words, this is how everything comes to you. Resources are not being trucked in from other planets. Have you noticed? Have you seen any pipeline in the sky? There is not one. It's the resources of this time-space reality in combination with the powerful new thoughts that you are discovering, causing you to allow your new world to continue to evolve. And so that's what we are about with you. We want to help you find processes, understanding that helps you to want to sift through your thoughts in a more deliberate way. We want you to say yes to more things and no to few things, because when you say yes to something in this attraction-based universe, you're saying, yes, come to me, this thing I want. But when you say no to something that you don't want, you're saying, yes, come to me, this thing I don't want, because there's no such thing as yes and no in a vibrational universe. There's only attention to the subject, you see. So now you have heard everything that matters. You've heard everything that matters for you to live happily ever after. And by that we mean for you to experience the success of alignment, which produces for you clarity and a really sweet spot as you get to witness the universal forces helping you turn your thoughts to things. We are eager to talk with you about anything that you want to talk about.
I'm hoping to find some quantifiable answers, solutions to increase my desires, such as creative visualization, writing things down, something to keep me aligned when I'm being challenged to go to that side I don't really want to be.
The book our friend was talking about, Ask and It Is Given, has 22 quantifiable processes in the back of it that are all about exactly what you're asking for. However, there is something more that we want to say to you, to all of you, about visualization, writing things down, scripting. Because of what we've already talked about here today, you're going to hear this easily. Whatever vibration you've got going on, whether it is a vibration of pure desire or a vibration of pure doubt or a little bit of each, whatever vibrations you've got going on, your attention to them will increase them. So the point that we're making is, before you do any scripting or any visualization or really any conversation you want to have a sense of where you are vibrationally, because wherever you are, you're going to increase it through your scripting, through your thinking about it. And that's why we say sometimes you try too hard. You're not in a good place, and then you think, well, I'll just work harder and I'll get in a better place. And when you're not in a good place and you work harder, you get in a worse place. You have to find some way to shift it, which means the shifting is easier if it takes place at a slower vibrational place. We've given the analogy of the train. So let's say you want something, but, well, you might be able to pivot and shift that if your desire and your belief are about equal. But if you've got desire, 10 desire engines and 10 doubt engines going on, then when you script, it's not going to get better. So we've been giving analogy, and since you're new, we're happy to give it to you again, of imagine yourself at the top of a San Francisco hill. Esther remembers this first time experience vividly. And imagine yourself taking your car out of gear and taking the parking brake off and just deciding that you're just going to nudge it a little just to see what's going to happen. Well, you're wise enough to know what's going to happen. It's going to roll down the hill. It's going to gain momentum as it goes. It's going to plow through what gets in its way, and it's going to end up in the bay. If you let it go, that is what's going to happen. Momentum says that it will happen. So you're smarter than that. You don't want that to happen. So you nudge it a little bit, but just as it begins to roll, instead you step in front of it and it just bumps you a little bit and it stops. But you would not want to be at the bottom of the hill trying to stop that vehicle. So in the same way, we don't want you to be at the bottom of the hill scripting. We don't want you to be at the bottom of the hill trying to turn it around, because you're not going to turn it around. It's going to mow you down. Because what you're thinking about is what you're thinking about. And even though you've got a smile on your face and you're using happy sounding words, and maybe even you get a tone in your voice that sounds different than you feel, how you feel is attracting more to you. So the worse you feel, the more we want you to go to sleep. The worse you feel, the more we want you to get off the subject. Get off the subject that has the momentum. Now you can do that. You can get off the subject that has the momentum and onto another subject that has no momentum, like a feather. You think we're kidding. Now that feather has momentum. You see what we're getting at? It really is. The leading edge conversation is. And here you are. You think you're a first timer, but you're not. Here we are having the most leading edge conversation about deliberate creation that we've had in a long time. When you feel like you need to try harder, don't. Because efforting is counter to vibrational allowing. So what you really want, you want inspiration in the scripting. You want to say something and then feel inspired to say it more. And if you're struggling to say it, then if it's not flowing easily, then it's better to change the subject altogether. So now ask your question again, because now we've given you a basis of understanding. If you can, ask the question pretty much the way you asked it the first time. I would like some quantifiable,
Oh, you want me to repeat it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'd like some quantifiable examples of how I can maintain myself at a higher vibration.
Now, you said something really good when you said maintain myself at a higher vibration, because maintaining yourself at a high vibration, then all the scripting and all the conversation that you can do is a wonderful thing. That's milking it. When you know you're there maintaining it, that's the time to do it. Do it when you're maintaining it and wanting it to be more. But when you're not there, change the subject. And if you get your attention off the problem subject long enough, it will dissipate into nothing that is active enough in your vibration that will affect you. It's like the trains that are about your desire are still robust, and those other trains just keep falling off and falling off and falling off until you're so free of resistance that you're sailing in the direction of what you want.
Sounds beautiful.
Helpful?
Absolutely. Can I ask one other question, please?
Yes, and we can demonstrate with you an example of it if you are wanting. Pick some subject and get a little momentum. Some subject where you're already there, not some challenge or something that you're trying to make happen, but some subject where you're already there. And let's milk it, not because we're trying to make something happen with it, but for the pleasure of what it feels like when momentum gathers speed. In other words, it just feels better.
Okay, a dog.
Because
Yes.
you got the concept that we gave you about your vortex and your inner being and really how high and fast that energy is. So here's a statement you can always count on. No matter how high you think you are, your inner being is higher. So there is more momentum to be experienced. There is more exhilaration to be accomplished. There is more clarity to be received. There is always more, because your inner being will always have less resistance about your subjects than you do, no matter how good you think you feel. Ooh, don't you like that? So that's the reason. Not only is that first timer bringing forth something that we've never talked about before, not only is that a way to increase momentum, that's the reason that more momentum is even possible, because it's already underway. We interrupted you.
So I have a great passion to help others.
Because?
It feels good.
Tell us more about that. Because we're going to use what we were talking about before. Because I'm appreciating so much the beneficial life that I live and the abundance that shows itself to me in so many ways all day, every day. And when that momentum gets going, the next logical step is that I flow it wherever I'm inspired to flow it. Now, did you feel how there was no resistance in that statement? Did you feel that? Now, here's another way of saying it where there would be more resistance. I have so much to give, and there are others who are in need. And it doesn't seem right, feels unfair for me to be prospering in these ways and someone else not to. So I'm just trying to even it out a little. Now that was laden with resistance, because that's defying the laws of the universe as they are. So sometimes when we talk about this subject, people accuse us of teaching people to be selfish. We say we do. We want you to be selfish. Because if you're not selfish enough to insist on your alignment, then you don't have anything to give. And so if you're not in that receiving mode, which is the replenishing mode, and you're giving to others, and you're not replenishing, then you're going to begin to become depleted, and then the whole thing turns into something. And certainly you've had those experiences where something that seemed wonderful in the beginning turned to a place that felt uncomfortable to you in time. Because in the exact way, we like this so much, in the exact way that you must be in the receiving mode to receive from Source and the abundant universe, they must be in the receiving mode to receive from you. So when you give where someone is not able to receive, you get a little electrocuted, just a little.
So you already answered my second part. Thank you.